breaking you jaw. You can't break even my word or my ball. It's all I got in life. Like I was doing like run up on you with a gun in a pocket knife. All right, so I'm gonna show you how to punch hooks in on this shit, because every time I watch someone else explain it, them motherfuckers try to do some whole extra ass shit you really don't need to be doing if you just have an ear for music, where they're like, oh, put it into BPM mode. You don't need to do that. No, because that's honestly, it's a more pain in the ass, because if you don't know what BPM the instrumental is that you're using, like you don't know it exactly, it's not gonna match up, and it's gonna be a guessing game. So this is probably the easiest way, and I'm gonna show you right now. So look, here's the intro. And then there's the start of the hook. We're gonna hit mark, set, end. Okay, just like that. Sorry, my shit a little dusty. It's just the fact of where I'm at. Now, what I try to do here is I try to make sure everything, at least at the decimal point, like how it's got the, here it says 325, 07.7. I try to make that 0.7 at least, if not the 0.7. I always try to make that even. At the end, especially at the beginning, it's sort of like it depends how you recorded it. But if you did it like me, or at least how I usually do it, you want to have it that at least that decimal point to there at an even number. So what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna hit mark, set, out. And like I said, it don't matter as much if the seconds or milliseconds is at that point. It really matters that the decimal points line up as much. See how that lines up perfect, sort of? Okay, so, well, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's almost an even 10 seconds minus 2, or 10 milliseconds, whatever that is. All right. Y'all the type of 30 stick loaded with 6 rounds of ammo. Now what there's a mark set right here, where that ends at. Most important part. I'm gonna hit copy, paste. Make sure that source means it's coming from this track right here. That's 31 and 32. Target means it's pasting it to this track right here, which is 31 and 32. Sometimes what I like to do a lot is I'll have a track that's dedicated to the hook, but because this was some shit I'm quickly throwing together just to build up a catalog, I figured I don't have to do it like that. You see what I'm saying? But sometimes I like to. It's something I put a little extra time to. So what I'll do is if I start on one shit and then I like fuck the verse up and I'll redo the verse, I'll cut out the verse, right? Keep that shit there or move it on to another track. And that's when I'll put source will be this. Say if I already did all the hooks, but I fucked up some verses, so I'm like, I'm gonna just roll that over to its own track. And I'll hit target will be on the 2930 track. Of course, for this type of hook, we want ×1. Click yes. And now is the tricky part. Blood on my camera. I'm the type who sparked up like I was a Roman candle. I don't know shit. So now it's about trying to figure out where that fits at exactly. Another reason I'll do that is if for some reason it cuts into where the verse is on here, and so I don't want it on here. I want to be able to have it sort of fade together, and so I'll put it like that. And then I'll just paste it on there and try to make a mental note when I do a mix down to, hey, put it on that. When you put it on that, remember, as soon as you reach where that second shit is, make sure before that you have that, tuned the way you need to do that. What we would do is go target would be on track. I don't know why it doesn't like that, but it always does. 2930. So think about it like this. The source is like where shit is coming from. The target is where you're trying to shoot it at. That's how you can remember if you forget. My nose be dripping, excuse me. I don't know shit, baby. You sparked up like I was a Roman candle. I don't know. Now, the real great thing is you always want to, before you do anything else, click stop, re-listen to it, and that way, whatever you just did, you could click undo, and it'll always, if you don't do that and you do an extra thing you didn't like, you know what I'm saying, after without checking it and it's fucked up, it's a bitch. You're gonna have to do a whole bunch of extra cutting shit out, at least by just pushing the record to dub over it without no mic running. So
6 rounds of ammo. I'm fleeing the scene with all your fucking blood on my camo. I'm the type who spark up like I was.
I'm gonna go to my marks and see where that was. So that was 2. So what if we do it like that? Because that starts at a 2. This is another way to figure it out too, is if a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times if the endpoint ends in a, like say there's a 0.2 there and then a 0, if you put it at a 0.2 like that, a lot of times that's where it'll match up, but not always. It's just I've noticed it, you know, a lot of times when I'm just guessing, I'm like, I'm gone too far, then I've gone too quick, where it's like hitting too soon. I'll be like out of desperation just see, well, what if these two match up? And a lot of times it will. See? Now I'm not trying to give too much of that away right now, but as you can see, the timing.
Rounds of ammo. I'm fleeing the scene with all your fucking blood on my camo. I'm the type who spark up like I was a Roman candle. I don't know shit. They be asking my government. See how
that be adding up perfect? And just so happen that the endpoint is 001902.0, and that fit perfectly at 3:35:02, which is basically the same 02 that's in that 1902 for the end. So that's just a little trick that works a lot of times. But this is because, for me, because I use other people's beats a lot, finding the beat. Now, if it's my own beat, I'll do about a BPM all day. That's the best way. But if it's some shit where I'm going to have to really backtrack my way to find this shit, it's all ass backwards trying to get the BPM, or it's not readily just put out there, yeah, I mean, at that point, like, I do this. And so it's more common that I do this. But no one tell you about this way to do it on YouTube, it seems. So I felt like I had to for the first, series like this. I felt I was like obligated that I start giving you all this series just because I pawned the Zoom and the loop station, the bullshit. Which I don't get what the fuck. Like the 505 looks, or the 606, whichever one, looks so lit. That 202 is garbage. But for a loss, so I felt like because I never gave you that and I was supposed to, I had to give y'all this. I'm out of this bitch, man. So now this is another track I'm working on where I'm doing all the hooks on one track, you feel me? So I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna show y'all how, on this is how you would do it. It's pretty much the same way I did on the other one now I think about it, because I did have one. The first hook was on the 30-second track, not the 29, but so we're gonna see how this fits.
Really gonna rewind the block and make sure that I hit it. Bitch, I break it down.
See, no, that was too close. You see how that ends in a 48? That's why I'm thinking this is gonna be somewhere with a 48. I think I did it at 10 last time we tried like that. Fuck, I put that on the same shit, didn't I?
Really gonna rewind the block and make sure that I, bitch,
See, I knew I did that. Fuck. That's why you never do that shit. You never do no shit before you know that. You never do that shit before you know it's right. So I'm gonna try that 25. 29 through 30. In future, I will be using my tripod for this. Do not worry.
Really gonna rewind the block and make sure that I hit it. Bitch, I break it.
See, now that's too far. That's too far fucking head. Like that's just a little too late. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy and paste after we hit undo again. We're gonna copy and paste and try it that's at 148 even. So we're gonna try it at 147. Let's try it at 147.25. Track edit. Copy paste. Put the target on 29. I hate how they do that. If I go backwards on the jog, it should go straight to 29 from that. If it's on 31, 32, it's annoying.
Make sure that I hit. I break it down better.
I fucked that up.
Make sure that I hit it. Really gonna rewind the block and make sure that I hit it.
So wait, if we do it at 148.
Gonna rewind the block and make sure that I hit it. Bitch,
No, it's still too close. Sometimes you wind up cutting a chop, you wind up cutting it just a little bit off, and in that case, a lot of times you're gonna have to recut it like I just had to do here. Sorry for the kind of like, piece together explanation of this. I'm just trying to keep some of my content reserved for later, so that's why I'm leaving large bits of it out that you can get the gist of what I'm saying without seeing major parts of it. So yeah, that was just real quick showing y'all a couple examples as much as I could of the simplest way to basically copy and paste hooks where they need to be at if you're doing hip-hop style music. It works for other styles of music. I just don't have personal experience in actually doing it, but I know just by music theory and whatnot that it would. So, yeah, anyways, although some shit might be easier to do through a looper or through a sequencer and then do it into that. Like, I wouldn't try to do that, just that standalone. You feel me? Like, I would try to, if you're doing something involving an instrumental piece or any type of melodic shit, any type of instrument shit, I would have it run through a looper or a sequencer before it went into that. All right, I'm out there, bitch, man. I hope this helped y'all.